Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to review how to fill out the sections on this particular app. This is a review of the quadratic formula. So let's take a look at the page. First of all, we have ourselves an equation in quadratic form. Y equals negative x squared plus 5x plus 5. I see something that says show and hide. I'm going to click on it. It gives me a review of the actual quadratic formula. And next I see that I have slots for A, B, and C. Taking a look at my formula, I happen to know that A is -1, B is 5, and C is also 5. Press enter. Once I do that, I can see that the formula has already been filled out for me. All of the numbers are in their correct spaces, and they match perfectly with the actual equation. So now I'm going to begin to simplify. I start with this part outside of my plus or minus. I see a negative parentheses 5. That now just turns into -5. Inside the square root symbol, I see that I have 5 squared in parentheses. That means that's 25. I'm going to assume that the negative that is separating the 5 squared and the 4 is going to stay there in the middle. So now I'm going to proceed to multiply as if it were just 4 times -1 times 5. With that in mind, I end up with an answer of -20. And in the bottom, I have now an answer of -2. One of the things I have to remember is that all the way through, this is always a fraction, so all of my answers consistently stay as a fraction. Now everything has been updated, except that now I have 25 minus a -20. I know that means to add. So now here I end up with a total of 45. Assuming that that is correct, I can see my page has updated. So now what I'm going to do is I now look at my screen and notice that there's a slot for the prime factors. That's going to be the prime factors of 45. So I'll click 45 in here, press enter, and I come to see that my prime factors of 45 are 3, 3, and 5. Now that comes in handy because when I start to simplify, I'll take advantage of these numbers. Now, right before the plus or minus, I see I still have -5, so that is consistent. Now here is where I simplify the square root of 45. That turns into a 3 on the outside and a leftover 5 on the inside. Because it's a fraction, the bottom of my fraction is still -2. Now, assuming that that is correct, I press enter and I get some feedback. And I notice that these numbers match the position of these values here. Okay, so now I have the position of both my roots. Okay, now I notice that the way that this has been written compared to the way this has been written, this has a positive 5 minus 3 square root of 5 over 2. But here's a -5 minus 3 square root of 5 over -2. So basically what's happening here is that the version of the answer that I see out here has been further simplified, reduced, for example. So if I reduce this, what I'm really doing is I'm taking out a -1 from top and bottom. That gives me now a result that looks like this. And that's basically all that's happening. Okay. Now, with that being said, these would now be the roots to my parabola. And this is how I fill out my quadratic equation, or my quadratic formula rather. Okay, hope this made sense. Bye.